Kevin here from DIYDork.com. Today I want to show you how to make over one of those really simple Ikea Lack tables into something really awesome. Now I actually made two different versions, so I split it up into two different videos so it don't get too long. So check this out, this is a really cool project. Alright, so here's what I'm working with. It's a really simple table from Ikea called the Lack table, which is a great name because as you can see, they lack everything. It's about as simple as a table design as you can get, but that's kind of the beauty of these, is that you can then wrap them, paint them, whatever you want. And they're super cheap. I got them for $7.99. I got the white ones because I figured they'd be easier to like paint or whatever than the black. And they also have a few in colors or like fake wood grain, and those were $9.99. And since I'm going to be doing stuff to them, I bought the cheaper ones. Now the other cool thing about these tables is that they're so cheap, everyone bought them and then they got tired of them, so now they're on Craigslist, and you can find them all day long for $5. If you see them listed for $10, don't pay it because you can buy them new cheaper than that. But you can talk to the people and get it for $5. I see them all the time. They even have one that's longer. It's like coffee table size. It's perfect. It's built exactly the same way. It's just bigger. Also, I know that Target had some. They were a little smaller. This one from Ikea is like 21 3/4 by 21 3/4. So I guess you could call it 22 by 22, 18 inches tall. The ones from Target, and I've done a set of these before from Target, same price, and they were 18 by 18, so just a little smaller. And I'm thinking probably even Walmart has had some before. So anyway, you can find them on Craigslist all day long for $5 a piece, and the coffee tables for like $10. And it's perfect because once we do, like I'm gonna do by wrapping the top in wood and painting the legs, I mean, you could sell them pretty cheap for like 35, 40 bucks a piece, and they sell quick. That's what I did last time. I think I sold the set for, I sold two of them, I think it was 75 bucks. And I only had $10 because I bought two of them for $5. So really, really cool system. So how about, instead of me yabbing on more here, I just start working on it. So what I plan to do is wrap the top in some pallet wood. Super hot right now, really easy to work with, cheap. You can usually get it for free. Again, on Craigslist, look around in the free section, there'd be people getting rid of them. And you just clean them up, and you wanna cut them to size. We're gonna wrap the top, and then I'm gonna take these legs off, and I'll show you a cool technique. I've used it in a bunch of other videos, but it looks great on this table. And anyway, it's a paint job I'll show you how to do, and it'll be all done, super quick project, and I'll flip them on Craigslist. So check this out. All right, now I wanted to keep the pallet design simple, so what I decided to do was divide it diagonally in half, and then I will run my pallet slats like this. And I do a little math, a little figuring, and I can do about 5 1/8 inch, and I should be able to fit 3 of them. There'll be a little bit of hangover, but that's okay. I can chop it down to fit. So it'll be 3 going that way, 3 going that way, and then I'll surround it with a border that covers this white plus the thickness of the wood. So now I'll go outside and I'll cut up my pallet wood and get it prepared for this. Alright, so here is the pallet that I'm going to be using. I'll explain a couple things about it. First off, I do have a video that shows how to break down pallets without having to use any fancy tools, because I know there are little pry bars you can buy that slide under it and break it free and keep the nails from busting up the wood and all that. But if you don't want to deal with one of those or have to buy one, there's different ways you can do it at home with tools you probably already have. And I explain how to do that in the video. Now the video it really is the methods I use, but I had a little fun with it at the end. That's why this has red all over it. So if you watch that video, you'll know why. But anyway, I want to show you a couple things real quick. All right, first of all, the boards are about 3/8 of an inch thick, which is just about perfect. I would say a 1/4 inch wood, 3/8, maybe even 1/2 inch would work. Any thicker than that might look a bit too thick on top of this little Ikea table. These should work fine. Also, my planks, they're about 5 3/4 inch wide, so I'm gonna have to rip them down a little bit on the table saw to about 5 1/8. My math should work out. And then I'll go ahead, and I won't bore you with the details of me prepping this wood, but I'll go ahead and chop it down and get it ready for a smooth down and all that before I install. So I'll do that next. Right, so I got my pallet boards cut down to 5 1/8 like I was gonna do, and I went ahead and I chopped one of the ends at a 45-degree angle, but I haven't sanded yet. So what I can do is then set it on the table and line up this one in the middle. Once it's exactly where I want it to go, and this side over here is totally flush, I'll take a pencil and drag it underneath here against the edge of this table. Then that way when I flip it over, I have a line that's exactly where I need to cut it. And then just take it out to the saw and chop it up. All right. And then do the next one. It's exactly the same thing. Just leave this one in the exact position you want to keep it. Lay the next one in here. Line up the 45-degree cut. Go over here, drag under there, draw a line, chop it as well. Once they're all cut, I'll test fit them, make sure that they all fit and there's nothing hanging over and that they look okay. Then I can sand them and get them down to where they're nice and smooth and not so rough looking. So I'll do all that next. All right, so I chopped those first two, and all I did was I just clamped them in place so that they don't move. So I can mark this third one, because it's a little more difficult once those are, if those were just loose, it'd be all over the place. So then I marked this one, and I got my line ready to draw. The other thing I did, the other two, is I put a little piece of tape underneath and I numbered them. So I got number 1, 2, 3. I also put it on the table. Then over here we have 4, 5, and 6. So that way, once we take these out, get them chopped up, start sanding them, we know where they fit. They should be an exact fit. So I'll chop up the rest, I'll sand them, and I'll show you how I start installing them. Alright, so I'm halfway through sanding. I just had to show this to you. These 3 pieces over here are untouched, unsanded, just totally raw. And it's, so-so looking, but check this out. I ran over these 3 pieces with a 120 grit sander, and it looks awesome. Look at that texture popping through, and they're actually nice and silky smooth. Way better than over here. I mean, this feels like you just get a splinter just touching it, and over here it's like really, really smooth. The other thing I did was I slightly rounded over all the edges, so that way there's a little bit of a dip between them all so you can see them. But that's how pallet wood should look when you recycle it. It looks really, really cool. So this is going to turn out awesome when I get it finished. All right, I'll tell you what, I think I'm actually going to slam the brakes on this project because I'm liking how it's looking right now. I was going to paint the bottom and add some wood banding around the edge, but I think this actually looks super clean and modern right now. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it alone, and what I'll do is, since I have 4 of these, I'll make a set like this, and then I'll make another video that just shows the other set after I've finished making it. I'll use smaller slats and I'll finish out the side so you can get an idea of what that looks like too, and I'll also paint the legs to show you what that looks like. But I think I'm liking this so much I'm going to leave it as is. So the next step that I got to do is I'll take all these wood pieces off and I'm going to rough up the top with some really rough sandpaper, and I'm going to glue and nail all these boards on. And and I also have to add some clear coat to them too, so that they have a little finish and are protected from water stains and things like that. So I'll do all that next. Alright, so to finish the wood, I'm just using some of this furniture wax and put a nice coat on there, and it will darken up the wood, but it'll keep it protected and it'll make it feel soft, and it's easy to apply. You can see how much darker it'll get, so it's not going to be as light as this, but it'll still look really nice. So I'll go ahead and finish them all out, let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow I will get it all sanded and everything nailed down, and I'll show you what it looks like all finished. Alright, now you may be wondering, what in the world is he doing to the top of that table? But all I'm doing is I'm using my sander with really rough 60 grit paper to tear through this paint so I can get down to the surface below, which is like a particle board. That way when I put glue on here before I nail all of my boards down, it'll actually have something to stick to instead of just sitting on top of the paint. So I'm going to finish this out and get them ready to nail. Alright, now installing will be real simple. Just going to put some glue on there and get plenty on so that it will hold as well as the nails. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is, after I line this up in the corners, just to keep this first one from moving, I'm going to go ahead and clamp it. Because all the others will be kind of butted up against this one, so I want to make sure it's in the correct position. But I can do all my adjustments now before I nail it down. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright, so then I'm just going to shoot some brad nails in there. I don't even remember what length these are, probably 1.25 inches or something like that. Just going to pop them in there and try to make them look half decent. So even like that. Over here, one in the middle, and probably 2 more in between those. Alright, now all I got to do is put one here. I can butt it up against there, glue, nail it, and then just keep working out till I get to the end. I'll show you what it looks like all finished. Alright, and check it out. Here they are all finished. Turned out really, really cool. As you can see, this tabletop here is the one that I had waxed last night and let it dry, and it lightened back down. And this one I did earlier today, a couple hours ago, and it's still kind of wet, so it's a little darker, but it will lighten down to this. And of course, you can spin them any way you want by lining them up to have a cool little chevron design, and of course, they separate all that. But people could, you know, put these together and turn it into a coffee table if they wanted, or end tables, night tables, whatever they want. But I just really like the simplicity of this design. We basically just added a skin on top of the pallet wood, and I really like the texture after sanding it and then slightly rounding the edges. Just gives it a really nice look. And like I said, you can find these tables on Craigslist for $5 all day long, and you can flip them pretty easily. I'm gonna try to sell these for about $35, $40 a piece, something like that. Cheap enough that they'll sell quick, but worth my time. You know, you make decent money off of something that takes an afternoon, and just turned out really cool. So this is the version 1, because I decided to not finish it like I was going to do. So I think what I'll do is I'll make a version 2 video for the other set of these that I bought, and I'll finish them out with a different type of wood and wood on the sides, and I'll paint the legs, and I'll just show you how different they can look with just a little bit added work on top of what we've already done. And you also don't have to use pallet wood. You could use like old yardsticks. I think that'd look really cool, or other types of reclaimed wood, or maybe even some recycled metal, or cut up aluminum cans or something like that. It could be kind of interesting. But really, really simple project, and turned out really awesome.